Welcome everyone to Coin New Yen Review channel. Before we dive into today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so more people can discover us. Enjoy the show. I found myself back in my senior year of high school, the day our class chose desk mates. My childhood friend suddenly changed her mind. I successfully paired with the handsome transfer student. He noticed the redness in my eyes. He mocked me. I wondered who could stand a chatterbox blaring in their ear all day, especially one who's been yammering at me for 18 years. My ears had practically calloused over. Everyone thought I'd be upset about it. But in the next moment, the news of my successful pairing with the poor student was announced by the homeroom teacher. From her mouth, the shy introverted girl in the corner twitched slightly. She looked up at me in disbelief. I burst into tears, sobbing uncontrollably. My talkative wife who never stops talking. I knew you'd chosen me too. Ours is a mutual dash toward each other. My wife, you just stole to extra glances at me. I understood, not surprised at all. Love should be proclaimed loudly. After the teacher announced my successful pairing with Bai Ningbing froze for a moment. A flicker of surprise passed through her eyes. I didn't hesitate, grabbing my backpack. I walked to the seat beside her, pulled out the chair, and sat down. My movements were smooth and effortless. Tilting my head slightly, I could see the girl from my memories. The shy, introverted girl. Her features deep and beautiful, though a bit too thin. But that didn't matter. At 18, she was practically blooming. She must have noticed my intense gaze. She shifted her seat slightly, trying to keep some distance from me. Seeing her half-rejecting, half-welcoming demeanor, my heart itched with a reckless urge. With a loud smack, my hand landed on her perky backside. Bai Ningbing jolted, whipping her face toward me. Her expression flickered with shock. The classmates in front heard the commotion. They turned eyes wide with astonishment. Fang Yuan, you're so bold. Already smacking your new desk mate's butt. You didn't mistake her for some Japanese prank, did you? I retracted my stinging hand, belatedly realizing a major issue. Bai Ningbing, as she was now, wasn't yet the wife who'd trade wedding night banter with me all evening. She was still an innocent 18-year-old girl. It was a disastrous start. In my previous life, Bai Ningbing always teased me about my bedroom dirty talk. Why'd bicker in bed? She teased that I only knew how to say flirty things to her. I coughed once, desperately trying to salvage my image. It wasn't that I was lecherous. It's just that when a flower blooms so vibrantly, not appreciating it would make me seem utterly unromantic. My buddy Ziyin gave me a thumbs up. What a cultured guy. Guiltily, I glanced at Bai Ningbing, saying it's only human nature. You understand, right? Bai Ningbing's lips pressed into a tight line, her expression far from pleasant. No way, really. Someone actually chose Bai Ningbing as their desk mate. Didn't Fang Yuan have a thing for Liu Ryan? Maybe he knew Liu Ryan wouldn't pick him, so he deliberately chose Bai Ningbing. Noticing Bai Ningbing's dimming eyes, I suddenly raised my voice. I wondered why there were so many mosquitoes buzzing in my ear. They were even noisier than me. Could someone light some mosquito repellent? The kind strong enough to silence a swarm of 100-pound mosquitoes that couldn't even open their mouths. The class bell rang. The gossipers reluctantly returned to their seats. The moment I heard it was math class, one started feeling sleepy and distracted. I propped a book in front of me and poked Bai Ningbing with my pen. Lowering her voice, Bai Ningbing spoke. Could you tell me why you chose me out of all our classmates? I was genuinely curious. Don't tell me you've got a crush on me. Bai Ningbing ignored me. She kept her head down, working on problems. As a chatterbox, I could tolerate her silence, but I couldn't stand no one listening to me. Frustrated, I grabbed her sleeve, saying, wife, say something, will you? The words barely left my mouth. She turned her head, her cheeks flushed red, staring at me in disbelief, like a flustered young woman being teased. Under her gaze, I slowly let go of her sleeve. I just wanted to know, would you tell me? Probably fed up with my pestering, Bai Ningbing tossed me a note. I just filled it in randomly. I nodded, saying that means we're fated. Hey, at that moment, Ziyin sneaked a glance back and asked Fang Yuan, did you just pick randomly too? I was worried you'd choose Liu Ryan. Liu Ryan, I followed his gaze. Though Liu Ryan sat next to the campus heartthrob, her eyes were fixed on me, the kind of stare that'd give you nightmares. What's her problem? I casually looked away. Shaking my head at Ziyan, I said no way. I chose very deliberately. I wanted Bai Ningbing as my desk mate. Ziyan, curious, asked why. Before this, you and Bai Ningbing only ever exchanged a single good morning, right? You say that to everyone. I chuckled. Because she's my future wife. In my past life, though, Bai Ningbing and I were high school classmates. Our relationship wasn't good back then. I didn't have a strong impression of her, only remembering how little she spoke. Later, by some twist of fate, we became husband and wife. Only then did I gradually learn why she was so quiet in high school and why her body was covered in old scars. But by the time I started to ache for her past, her wounds had long since scabbed over. She could even treat those memories as a joke, sharing them with me. I stared at her, my eyes slowly reddening. I silently vowed, since the 25-year-old Bai Ningbing could pull me out of my abyss, I could now stand by the 18-year-old Bai Ningbing through the hardest times of her life for an entire class. Not a single bit of math sank in. I spent the whole time staring at Bai Ningbing. Her eyelashes were already so long back in high school. So beautiful. Exactly the pale, cool complexion I'd chased my whole life. The 18-year-old Fang Yuan should have gouged out his own eyes to check if they'd been swapped. How could I have fallen for a show-off like Liu Ryan? Clearly, Bai Ningbing was far more beautiful back then. As I kept staring, Bai Ningbing's ears turned red. The flush spread across her entire neck. The 25-year-old Fang Yuan, seeing this, had a mind full of naughty thoughts. Even instinctively leaned closer. The next second, Fang Yuan answered this question. Teacher Zhang's triangle ruler slammed against the blackboard. All eyes turned to me. More precisely, their gaze is focused on my hand inches from Bai Ningbing's neck. What are you doing, Fang Yuan? I let you choose desk mates, not to whisper sweet nothings, nor to harass your desk mate, but to help each other and study better. Got it? If you can't solve this problem, you'll stand at the back for the whole class. The moment he finished, the classroom fell silent. I stared at the problem on the board, distressed. Having just returned from 25 to 18, how could I remember anything about conic sections? I looked to Bai Ningbing for help, but she kept her head down, not planning to assist. The 18-year-old Bai Ningbing wasn't yet the wife who'd solve everything for me. Just as I braced myself to bluff my way through, a note was suddenly slid in front of me. Bai Ningbing withdrew her pale fingers, her expression utterly calm. The note contained the complete solution. Overjoyed, I raised my voice, saying, Teacher, you've got it, teacher. At the same time, another voice rang out from the other side of the room. Liu Ryan raised her hand. Her voice cut off abruptly when she heard mine. Facing a star student like Liu Ryan, Teacher Zhang softened his tone, asking Liu Ryan, what's up? Liu Ryan glanced at me. Her words took a sudden turn, saying, Teacher, I think this problem isn't that hard. She walked to the board and modified the problem, instantly making it much tougher. She smeared that this kind of problem was more suitable for us senior students to practice. I was speechless. As she came down from the board, Liu Ryan deliberately took a long detour, passing by my seat. Her voice, neither loud nor soft, reached my ears. Fang Yuan, beg me, and I'll help you answer. She was as arrogant as ever. I yawned, voluntarily pulling my chair to the back of the room. Guess I'll just stand then. I was feeling sleepy anyway. I've never been a well-behaved kid, always annoying others until their heads hurt. Often cursed as a wild child with no parents to raise me. But I took pride in it, not shame. Talking more and more, leaving those gossipers speechless, like I'd won a battle. Happily chewing bubblegum on my way home. But now in front of Bai Ningbing, I felt a bit embarrassed. I stood at the back, buddying up with the trash can. Teacher Zhang praised Liu Ryan's modified problem, asking if anyone could solve it. Whoever got it right would be exempt from today's math homework. Teacher Zhang scanned the room. Many students were eager to try. Homework exemption was incredibly tempting. The transfer student quietly asked Liu Ryan about the solution. Liu Ryan seemed distracted, but still wrote out the full solution for him. Just as he was about to raise his hand, Bai Ningbing, who never liked the spotlight, suddenly stood up, walked to the board, picked up a white piece of chalk, and wrote out the solution. Her handwriting was neat and elegant, just like her. Teacher Zhang's eyes filled with admiration, saying, "Bai Ningbing, I'm proud of you for stepping up. Your solution is completely correct. Today's homework you're exempt." Bai Ningbing interrupted Teacher Zhang, her voice soft, devoid of emotion. I was feeling a bit sleepy. I wanted to stand at the back for a while. As Bai Ningbing walked over, I grabbed her arm saying, "Bai Ningbing, did you think I looked too lonely standing back here alone? So you came to keep me company?" Bai Ningbing stood ramrod straight, exuding an unapproachable aura. I pursed my lips saying I was just joking. "Would you humor me?" The air fell silent for a long time. I couldn't help myself saying, "Let me tell you a secret. 7 years from now, we'll get married. We'll share the same bed." And Bai Ningbing suddenly coughed a few times. Teacher Zhang shot me a look and I shut up. Once Teacher Zhang's gaze moved away, the alert was lifted. I continued saying, "You don't know. 7 years from now, you won't be like this. You'll sing raunchy love songs to me every day." As I spoke, I felt my mouth wasn't enough. My hand started waving, asking if she knew that song. "You probably don't. It only got popular later. But you'd love it if you heard it. I'll sing it for you." Truth is, I made it all up. The 25-year-old Bai Ningbing was far too proper. She'd never sing that song for me. Bai Ningbing couldn't take it anymore, interrupting me saying, "Weren't you sleepy?" I blinked. "Now that you're here, I'm not sleepy anymore. I want to talk to you. Are you easy to tease? Let me tell you about our married life. Why do you look so miserable? On the left half of your butt, there's a birthmark the size of a pinky nail." The moment I said it, Bai Ningbing stared at me in horror. My gaze slowly drifted downward. "I mean, we're husband and wife. Besides that, I also know about the spot between your legs." Before I could finish, the bell for the end of class rang. Bai Ningbing clapped a hand over my mouth, stopping me from continuing. I accidentally licked her hand. Her pupils shook and she fled in panic. It was just a little lick. Why such a big reaction? Compared to the 25-year-old Bai Ningbing who loved spicy bedroom talk, she was a completely different person. Laughing, I chased after her. "Hey wife, don't walk so fast. I can't keep up. Can you teach me how to solve those problems? These conic sections are way too hard." Ziyan, who was packing up to go eat, tilted his head and asked me, "Since when did you care so much about studying?" His tone dripped with suspicion that I'd betray our slacker code. I lifted my chin, dead serious. As a high schooler, I should study hard, focus less on nonsense, get into a good university for a bright future. I sneaked a glance at Bai Ningbing. "Right, wife?" She choked, coughing twice. Ziyan rolled his eyes, saying, "Whatever. As if I don't know your true colors. Are you eating? I heard the cafeteria stir-free has a new dish. Wanna try it?" Ziyan dragged me out to race for food. Lunchtime arrived. Bai Ningbing had no plans to go to the cafeteria. She pulled a rice ball from her bag, eating while flipping through her workbook. When I returned from the cafeteria, Bai Ningbing was the only one in the classroom. She sat at her desk, diligently working on problems. A deluxe burger suddenly appeared in front of her. I said it was for her. Then I pulled out a sausage milk tea and a big bag of snacks, stuffing them all onto her desk. "This is tuition. No refusing." Propping my chin, I dreamed of the future. "Will you teach me math? Let's get into the same university, so we can stay together in college and get married after graduation, saving us so many detours." Bai Ningbing opened her mouth to say something, but Ziyan suddenly popped up between us, yanking me away saying, come on. You promised to go running with me on the field." I didn't catch what Bai Ningbing wanted to say. As I left, I stole a glance at her. Seeing her unwrap the sausage and take a bite, I felt relieved and went out with Ziyan. Not long after I left the classroom, a noisy crowd of classmates poured in after dinner. I just saw Feng Yuan at the snack shop. He bought a ton of stuff, like he was emptying out the store. Is this your first time seeing him like that? When he was chasing Liu Ryan, what didn't he buy for her? But seeing Liu Ryan today, She publicly chose the campus heartthrob as her desk mate. Guess she won't accept his stuff anymore. Heartthrob or chatterbox? He knows the difference. I saw Fang Yuan picked by Ningbing as his desk mate today. Probably just to mess with Liu Ryan. Who doesn't know? He and Liu Ryan are destined to be a couple. But let's be real, Fang Yuan's pretty hot too. Haha. One after another the harsh words pierced by Ningbing's ears. Her expression grew colder. Feeling inexplicably irritated, she packed up all the snacks, stuffing them into the desk beside her. Today was the school's parent open day. Ziyan asked while we jogged, "Who's coming from your family?" It was that day. I thought for a moment. Lowering my eyes, I said probably my nanny. When have my parents ever shown up? I used to think they just didn't like me, but later I learned. They divorced back when I was in middle school. Now they had their own new families. I was the extra one. To hide my loneliness, I kept talking, as if the more I spoke, the less lonely I seemed. They rarely mentioned my parents. When they talked about me, they only called me an annoying little boy. Growing up, no one played with me except Liu Ryan. But later it was Liu Ryan who stripped me of all dignity at our engagement party. To call off our engagement, she publicly humiliated me, saying I was obsessed and clung to her, claiming I'd do anything to be with her, even pulling out a pile of fabricated evidence. That incident was the final straw that broke me. After that, I climbed to the rooftop countless times, imagining myself as a free bird or a carefree breeze. It was then that I met by Ningbing, young and accomplished, already the CEO of a listed company. She said she needed a husband and asked if I was willing, saying we were high school classmates. We knew each other well enough. She said if I couldn't find my life's anchor, I could try leaning on her. Fang Yuan, what are you thinking about? The bell's about to ring. Let's head back. I snapped out of my thoughts. We finished running and returned to the classroom. A few girls were gathered around by Ningbing's desk, giggling. Their dirty hands rested on her workbook, leaving creases on the paper. By Ningbing, who are you looking so pale for? I saw your father today. He came to the office in worn-out shoes. Said he was bringing gifts for the teachers. I was dying laughing. The teachers' faces, like they'd seen a con artist. By Ningbing, tell your father not to come and embarrass himself. It was hilarious, that look. Look, speak of the devil. Here comes the old farmer. I glanced toward the door as they mocked by Ningbing's father. A dark-skinned middle-aged man stood at the entrance, wearing a wrinkled, ill-fitting suit, perhaps the most decent clothes he owned. When I married by Ningbing, both her parents were already gone. When she spoke of her father, she showed not a trace of shame. She never thought it was embarrassing that the father of an outstanding entrepreneur was a migrant worker. She only regretted not talking to him more when he was still around. By Ningbing heard the classmates' cruel jokes. A flush of shame crossed his simple face. He stood there somewhat at a loss. I looked at him and said, "Father, you can go now." The scars on Bai Ningbing's body were inflicted today because of her father's situation. She got into a fight with those girls. I saw her throw herself into the fray fearless of pain. While others got off lightly, she was badly hurt. And yet, those rich girls wouldn't let it go. They demanded Bai Ningbing kneel and apologize, or they'd find some thug to beat up her father to vent their anger. Bai Ningbing apologized, but when she got home, I saw her father covered in wounds. He clutched crumpled bills in his hand, his face bruised and swollen, yet he still smiled warmly. Some boys just said they wanted to spar with me and gave me a big sum of money. So much money, enough for Ningbing's college tuition. That day in my past life wanted today. I rushed to her father. "Uncle, that oversized suit looks so cool. Where'd you get it? I want one too." He cracked a shy smile. "Folks in the village gave it to me. If you like it, I'll take it off for you." Her father started to shrug off his jacket. I quickly pulled him into the classroom. "I'm Bai Ningbing's deskmate. My name's Fang Yuan." I kicked away the gossipers. "Uncle, sit here. This is my seat." Her father waved his hands repeatedly. "No need. I'd dirty your chair." "Not at all," Bai Ningbing told me. Her father is an incredible man. Bai Ningbing glanced at me silently. Her father grew embarrassed by my words. We're just rough laborers. No education, nothing impressive about us. Creating wealth with your own hands. That's what's impressive. Way better than those gossiping types. Uncle, your arms are so strong. All muscle, huh? Wow. People hit the gym and still can't get your build. Since you're here at school, talk more with Bai Ningbing. She's quiet but secretly lively, full of inner drama. Don't let her aloof responses fool you. She listens more closely than anyone. I couldn't solve a problem in class, and she helped me figure it out. I pulled 2 bottles of Wahaha from my bag, handed one to her father, and one to Bai Ningbing. Sit down, have a drink, and chat. Her father only stayed a short while before leaving. As he left, he pulled a jar of chili sauce from his canvas bag. I said, "So many thanks, Ningbing. This kid's quiet, doesn't talk much. She's happy to have you as her deskmate." Happy, huh? I patted Bai Ningbing, who was silently working on problems. What's wrong, Ningbing? You were fine in class earlier. Why are you ignoring me now? Bai Ningbing didn't speak, just kept her head down. It had been a while, and she was still stuck on the first problem. I couldn't figure out why Bai Ningbing was ignoring me until I grabbed my notebook from the desk drawer and saw that bag of snacks untouched lying in my desk. Why'd you give them back to me? These spicy strips are delicious. Wanna try one? I tore open the packet and popped one in her mouth, seeing chili oil on her lips. I tossed the empty wrapper in the trash, satisfied. Isn't it good? I eagerly awaited her response. Bai Ningbing chewed slowly, finished the spicy strip and nodded. Then I'll buy them for you from now on. No need, Bai Ningbing refused. After a pause, she spoke again. I'm not interested in being your tool to make Liu Ryan jealous. I froze for half a second, then laughed. You're as petty as you are 7 years from now. 7 years later, Bai Ningbing would get cold for half a day if she saw you, Ryan, and me breathing the same air. Turns out she was this petty in high school too. I grabbed Bai Ningbing's hand and pressed it to my chest, blinking sincerely. Bai Ningbing, this heart belongs to you. The moment her hand touched my chest, Bai Ningbing yanked it back. Don't do that again. Old habits from being married die hard. Just wanted you to know. Bai Ningbing softly said, I know. So good. I ruffled her hair. It felt nice to smooth it down. What are you two doing? A gruff voice came from above. I looked up, startled by Liu Ryan's glaring eyes. Liu Ryan, are you nuts? Liu Ryan was fuming. She touched you and you didn't push her away. I found it baffling. What's between me and my future wife has nothing to do with a passerby like him. Why would I push her away? She's my future wife. How long are you gonna keep this up? Just because I didn't pick you as my deskmate, you're resorting to self-destruction to make me regret it. My head hurt. Liu Ryan, we were barely friends at best. But you said I talked too much, found me annoying. I think our values don't align. We're not even friends anymore. Why do you care? Liu Ryan glared at my chair like it offended him. Don't you have a thing about cleanliness? A farmer sat in your seat and you don't mind. Not gonna wipe it down. He bent down, acting like he was doing me a favor, pulling out a tissue to wipe my chair. I fiercely shielded my chair, glaring at him viciously. Liu Ryan, did you forget to brush your teeth today? Your mouth's so foul. Liu Ryan actually breathed into his hand and sniffed it. No smell. I scooted my chair closer to Bai Ningbing. You can't smell your own bad breath. Stay away from me. I've got screenshots. Liu Ryan finally caught on. Fang Yuan, don't regret this. You know the gap between you and that poor kid. My business with my wife doesn't need your concern. I shot him a look, pretended to pull out homework to study. I didn't understand a single problem. Maybe Bai Ningbing could help. I glanced at her. The holy light streamed through the window, perfectly catching her profile. Her lips weren't as flat as before, even curving up slightly. I pulled out the bag of snacks from my desk. Please, Bai Ningbing, you're the best. Teach me math. I want to get into the same university as you. I picked the best snacks, all hand-selected by Fang Yuan, super tasty. Pretty please. Bai Ningbing's face flushed as she opened her eyes. She held out her palm to me. Got it, I grinned happily. Bai Ningbing's the best. After school started, I worried Bai Ningbing would confront those girls over her father. Their foul mouths deserved a beating, but the thought of their fists landing on Bai Ningbing made me mad. Bai Ningbing took 2 steps and stopped. Why are you following me? There's no one to cook at my place this weekend. I want to crash at your house for food. A full stomach means I can still. My voice cut off. My mouth ran ahead. My brain scrambled to catch up. Nearly got mistaken for a creep. Bai Ningbing glanced at me faintly. Her home was simple, but clean and tidy. I said there's no one at my place this weekend. I want to come over for food. Sure. Wait a sec, I'll go buy some meat. No need, uncle, I called out. And trying to lose weight. Don't want meat. Veggies are fine. Green and healthy. At dinner, I piled my bowl high with rice. Growing kids need to eat. In this lively atmosphere, my appetite was unstoppable. I chewed big mouthfuls of rice, uncle. I'm so jealous of Bai Ningbing. She's got you while I'm always alone at home. Her father's eyes crinkled into a smile. If you don't mind, come over whenever you're free. You make me happy just looking at you. Your personality's a great match for Ningbing. Can I stay here for a couple of days then? Her father looked troubled. The guest room's full of stuff. It could be cleared out. But kid, can you handle staying here? And the signal's not great. Phones barely work. I shook my head, no problem. Playing on my phone alone at home gets boring after a while. Here Bai Ningbing can teach me math. Over the weekend, I shamelessly hung out at Bai Ningbing's eating and drinking. Uncle said before he left this morning to make me breakfast. Ningbing. Bai Ningbing, I can't do this problem. Bai Ningbing, your father likes me. Bai Ningbing listens to her father. So rounding up, you like me too. Sunday night, Bai Ningbing had to head back to school. I left with her uncle. He'll come visit you often. Take care of yourself. Bai Ningbing carried 2 backpacks. This road's tough to walk. You can catch a cab at the intersection. I trailed behind Bai Ningbing. No need for a cab. The bus is fine. She looked back at me. Can you still walk? Don't underestimate me. I'm tough. 18-year-old Bai Ningbing is as reassuring as the 25th area. Bai Ningbing's the best. Monday morning, someone reported Bai Ningbing and me to the school. During break, I was called to the office. I finally saw my birth mother again. Miss Zia. She saw me and slapped me without a word. My cheek burned, stinging hot. Your father and I work hard to earn money, not for you to date in your senior year. Who taught you to act this way? I thought you were just a bit naughty. Who knew you'd spend weekends at someone's house? Look at yourself now. I touched my cheek, found it a bit funny. You didn't even ask what happened, and you've already judged me. How little you want to waste time on me. I sneered at her unfamiliar face. You and father divorced long ago. You have your own family now. Did either of you ever want me? Ms. Yia's hand trembled slightly. You have no idea how suffocating that feels. I went through it once in my last life, that's enough. Fear flashed in her eyes. I don't know if she feared my pain from knowing the truth, or feared I'd demand something from her, cling to her and make a scene. I won't bother you, but I hope you'll stay out of my decisions too. Ms. Zia stormed out, slamming the door. The office fell quiet again. Teacher Zhang sighed. Shoot away, the crowd gawking at the door. Fang Yuan, go back to class. Before I reached the classroom, Liu Ryan chased after me. Fang Yuan, stop. I turned back impatiently. What is it, Liu Ryan? He frowned, explaining. I didn't know about your family before. Are you here to apologize? For reporting me and Bai Ningbing? Or for all the times you bad-mouthed me? I'll make it up to you. Now the whole class knows about your family. How about we transfer schools together? Even if your parents don't want you, I'll be there for you. He said the same in my last life. When I thought I grabbed a lifeline, he backed out at our engagement party. That's the kind of person he is. Making decisions without taking responsibility. Never thinking things through. I sighed, no need. You can apologize, Liu Ryan, but I have the right to reject it. So I'm not transferring. He couldn't believe it. You really like Bai Ningbing. Besides her looks, what she got that's worthy of you? You wouldn't understand, Liu Ryan. I looked up. A slender figure stood at the classroom door. Bai Ningbing was waiting for me, saying class is starting. I grinned at her coming. Bai Ningbing, Why are you looking at me like that? My brain clicked, and I started teasing, are you worried about me? Come on, admit you're worried. If you're worried, talk to me more. Bai Ningbing changed the subject. The test from the weekend got graded. I slumped, I got so many wrong. I was a slacker before. Got into college abroad through family connections. But now my brain's empty. No idea how long it'll take to catch up. As I fretted, Bai Ningbing suddenly poked my hand. Listen closely. He'll explain, I cheered. All through senior year, Bai Ningbing tutored me. I slowly caught up on the basics, got better at solving problems. Bai Ningbing started chatting with me too, sometimes about summer plans after graduation, or asking what I had for dinner to fix my decision paralysis. She even made a spinner from scrap paper. Before meals each day, we'd spin it to pick which cafeteria floor to eat on. The day before the college entrance exam, school let out. Back home, I bombarded Bai Ningbing with 100 pointless messages. Mostly stuff like so nervous, help. Really nervous, it's unbearable. This problem's so hard in breaking down. Bai Ningbing replied, don't be nervous, don't break. I sent a screaming cat emoji. I was used to her slow replies. Since she rarely checked her phone, most of the time, I treated her chat as a memo pad. That night, she sent me a message out of the blue. She said after the exam, there's something I want to ask you, but she quickly deleted it. No worries. I'd already screenshotted it. Bet you didn't expect that. 7 years of outsmarting Bai Ningbing wasn't for nothing. On the day exam results came out, Bai Ningbing and I went to an internet cafe near school to check our scores together. She performed steadily, getting into a top 985 university. I scored over 20 points lower, but still got into a solid 211 near her school. Bai Ningbing gave a rare smile. Right after checking our scores, we left the cafe. The sun blazed outside. I expertly held up a parasol for Bai Ningbing and asked, by the way, what was that thing you wanted to ask before the... Bai Ningbing looked at me surprised. I waved the screenshot at her. Right here. Bai Ningbing stared at the phone for 2 seconds. You screenshotted it. I popped a straw into my yogurt. Yup. Come on, spill it. What did you want to ask? Nothing. I'm a pro at pestering. If got the screenshot. No backing out. Bai Ningbing's steps quickened unconsciously. I followed. Slow down, slow down. You'll get sunburned. Seeing her slow her pace, I asked again. So what was it? The street buzzed with cars and people, wind engines, and chatter mixed together. Bai Ningbing suddenly stood tall, turned around and asked me seriously, you said we'd get married someday. So she was curious about the future. Yeah, at 25. You're a CEO of a listed company. I'm a well-known lawyer. We're a married couple. 25 is still a ways off. She looked at me and said slowly, marrying at 25. If we live to 90, that's only 65 years of love. So if we're destined to marry, why not stretch our love a bit longer? I grinned, teasing her. Bai Ningbing, saying that makes me think you're confessing. I am confessing. Bai Ningbing gazed at me quietly. So Fang Yuan, are you willing to be with me? My mind blanked for a moment. Then I nodded dumbly. Of course I'm willing. Now that we're together, I don't have to worry about my teasing, scaring her off, or holding it all back painfully. As I thought about it, a warm trickle flowed from my nose. I fumbled through my bag for a tissue. Bai Ningbing already handed me one. I mumbled a thanks, then pulled out a mirror to wipe the blood. Bai Ningbing watched me for a long time. Her lips curved into a familiar smile. What are you thinking about? Why the nosebleed? No way. It's just the dry weather. Got overheated from the sun. Not thinking anything weird. The amusement in Bai Ningbing's eyes deepened. I tried to explain. Don't get the wrong idea. Don't paint me as some creep in your head. Impure. Husband, the word pure doesn't suit you at all. I froze, staring at her seriously. Wife, you came back too. During the summer break, I stayed at Bai Ningbing's house. In the afternoons, with nothing to do, we'd drag chairs to the porch, munching sunflower seeds in the sun. By evening, we'd change clothes, carry bamboo baskets and pick crops with Aunt Bai. Life moved slowly but felt easy and free. I said it's great I met you early by Ningbing. It'll save me so many detours in life, and all that mess later on. Fang you on every step in life counts. Whether what happened was right or wrong, good or bad, it all shaped who we are now. What if we'd never met? If you hadn't been in a rush to find a husband in our last life, would our lives have been to parallel lines? Bai Ningbing closed her eyes quietly. No. Whether we meet early or late, we'd always meet. Because my feelings for you weren't gradual. They were love at